Welcome to Between Plays, stock market strategies. Once again, we have with us Crypto with Alex. Hey Al, how you doing, man?
It's been a while, Al.
Yeah. Well, we did go to the Decoding Tech
Yeah,
2 weeks ago on that Friday. So it was
amazing.
it was a good show. We met a lot of people.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Uh excuse me?
It was fantastic. A great experience.
Yeah. What I found really cool about it too is the fact that you had people actually recognizing between plays and like literally calling out, saying, "Hey, Albert," and I'm just going, "How do you know my name?" And that was pretty cool. That was a good experience, and naturally, you met some really cool people, Michael Johnson and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and hopefully we get Michael Johnson on the show because we really like to have Michael Johnson on the show. Or Janssen. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. We'll have him over here and he can correct me. But besides that, it was a great experience. We learned a lot about the metaverse. We learned a lot about more crypto things that are coming out, NFTs. It was something that I definitely enjoyed. And we are going to have Qatar Khan to come on here to be able to speak to us about his experience. He's a person that put this all together for the decoding tech. And naturally, we'll be back there again next year and hopefully moderate, and that would be pretty cool.
yeah. Can't
So
wait.
yeah, so we got a lot of things we could talk about. As you can see, um, things have been changing. Also here for between plays because we have this. I recreated this whole studio room. I've soundproofed it. I've done different things inside this room, and there's going to be live one-on-ones inside the studio room, and pretty much we're going to get viewertainment rolling. Like I had put out some videos on that about a year ago. That it was one of my objectives, which we're going to be speaking to movie stars, musicians. Basically, it's an anything goes podcast, and that's going to be very interesting because we're going to have the stock market part of everything on between plays. We're going to have the viewertainment, and that's really cool. So that's another reason why we didn't really do anything for 2 weeks, right? We had the decoding tech and then bringing this into a different era. And it's really cool because we have a whole section back there, which eventually everybody will see, with the chairs. And it's a really beautiful setup. And I can't wait to be able to show that off. So, Al, you were telling me today that crypto world doesn't look too good.
Well, it's just an exciting day. That's what this is going to say. It's good timing that we're on today. If I can show what's going on
Yeah,
quickly.
sure. You got a graph, throw it up
Um,
there.
yeah, it's just a very basic graph here. I just wanted to show basically what the price we're at now. We're at 19,451. And why it's so important is that, well, you see the blue line here, and I put a rough red line here, signaling the top of the market of the last all time high in the latest cycle, the last cycle, sorry. And that's super important because Bitcoin never went below ever uh, its last cycle all time high. So right now it is a little bit lower. I mean, the all time high was at 19.783 in daily. So basically 19.5, you can round it out to 19.5. So it's very important. It's a psychological number. Why? Because, well, it never went lower than that. And so basically what happened is that people are looking. It's going between the two numbers. It was going between 19.5 and 2100, which is another psychological number. So it's been going around, bouncing up and down the channel. And last time we saw, we were around 21,000 US, and now we're back down to 19 below 19.5. So super interesting seeing where it's going to go. Obviously you have to wait for the closing, and it has to close below at the end of the week, and then at the end of the month is confirmation of that number is in, because sometimes the market can play around with us and making us think that's going to go crashing down when it's actually not. So I think we're at a pivot point. It's super important to keep informed in crypto and to look at what's going on, because it can either make or break, right? There's a lot going on.
Okay, so we're looking at the fact that in 2018, that's when it had that high.
Yeah.
And right now we can see that we've dipped underneath that high.
Yeah. It was
Um,
December 2017. Yeah.
December 2017, okay, because it looked
Yeah.
like it was 2018 on the graph real quick. But December, 2017, we had an all-time high, and now we are dipping just below those numbers.
Yep.
Is that
Exactly.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, naturally, when you're looking at it from a stock market perspective, naturally I'm basing it off of, on these graphs on a whole bunch of different, quantitative factors and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that come into play, the macroeconomics, microeconomics, the industry, and all this kind of stuff, the management. It just goes on and on and on. The list of things before you make a proper decision of when you want to get into it or not. The thing is here is that we're looking at it below its last level.
Yeah.
Now, is there a chance that this thing, is still going to continue to just dip? Because after December of 2017, we saw that in the graph it was very low, much lower than it is now.
Yep.
Is there a possibility that we start getting down to the 2018 levels, 2019 levels before it shot back up in 2020?
Absolutely. We can go back down to this is my honest opinion. It's an opinion. It's not financial advice. It's
Of course,
entertainment purposes. Obviously, I
obviously.
really think though it's going to go as I was saying, it was going between a channel of 21,000 and 19.5. If it breaks that, I think it's going to play around another channel that's going to be created, which is going to be the top is going to be 19.5, and the lower end is going to be in the 12K.
Okay.
So it can
Okay.
bounce
Wow.
around from there.
So basically, we're getting back into some. So, you know, that's pretty nuts what you're saying now, because what you're pretty much saying is that, you look at certain times I'm just looking at the stock market right now. All right. That you get these highs, and then you get these freaking corrections that'll just blow your pants off. And if you don't get the hell out of whatever stocks, like if you're in the wrong stocks, you could be screwed for a long time. And that's, great example of those are like Nortel networks back in like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, you know what I mean?
my dad
1999, 2000.
felt it.
They've never gone
Yeah.
up to those levels again. So, I mean, you could be you could be holding the bag forever. All right. Forever is a mighty long time. But not to quote someone, but the thing is that what it is that, can we be looking at Bitcoin going back up to the highs? I mean, we were thinking that Bitcoin was going to 100,000. It didn't reach
Yeah.
100,000. It
Yeah.
wasn't that far away,
No.
but there's still reason to believe that 100,000 might be plausible in the future.
Of course. I mean, look. You have to look at the use case, right? And is it going to go away? Is it not going to go away? It's as we said before. It's a new system. It's a new economy. Nortel itself. I mean,
They
it
had
was what it was,
challengers.
right?
That's a different thing. They had
It's a small company. It's not the same thing.
no.
We're comparing a market
Well,
to a company.
Nortel got killed when Apple came out.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
happened. Nortel
Yeah.
just, you had BlackBerry that came out, and then you had like Apple that came out, and then Apple just destroyed the competition. Then Samsung, they came out, and Samsung's pretty powerful within themselves
But
too.
that's super interesting what you're saying, because what people don't understand is that it's a new market. So are there crypto coins that can crash to the Nortel network level and never come back? Obviously, most of them, that's what happens actually. The crypto industry is full of Nortels. So which one is not a Nortel? Which one is a Google? Which one is a whatnot? I think Bitcoin is obviously, it's always going to stay because it's the gold, it's the digital gold. But what
Yeah,
happens? Obviously I think Ethereum might we talked about this in the past,
yeah.
but I think Ethereum is a shining star of the other cryptos, but who knows? I mean,
They
it's another market, so it's completely different.
Yeah, and ether does look like, from understanding, looks to be, um I don't know if you want to do the silver and gold type thing,
Yeah,
whatever it be, like the silver towards the Bitcoin gold, but it's not really the same at all, because it seems like ether, a lot of things are being built on its back. So I don't even want
yeah.
to compare it to gold and silver in
It
reality,
used to
because
be compared, but not
yeah,
anymore.
and
Yeah,
exactly, and I just think that, ether is a whole other, monster within itself,
yeah,
where we're going to be running other things like like the graph. There's like a lot of different,
yeah.
companies out there that are running off of it. Like there's NFT stuff that's running off of it. So the thing is that, it's not the same as Bitcoin, but it's, decentralization, and banks are saying, yeah, we're going to take you on now, like we were spoke about, like, 3 weeks ago. All these, like, BNY Mellon, all these investment, companies coming on, BlackRock coming on and saying, yeah, listen, we're gonna own, we're gonna own this commodity, and, you guys could just come to us and easily, you know exchange this kind of stuff. So
So yeah, and last time, it's funny you're saying that, because last time we were talking about all these good things happening, and then look at the prices shot up, right? So it was building base so that the news would then eventually bring in the people, and then the price would shoot up, and that's what happened, right? Because last time we spoke, it was under 20, it was around 20-ish. It went up
yeah,
to 20, 21.5, 21. So when it went, in in this bear market that we're seeing, that's really boring right now, it went up a lot. Okay. When it's in a bull market, it's going to go way more. There's going to be way more volatility. But so now what we're seeing is we're seeing the huge FUD. Okay. Too bad we didn't talk yesterday, because, well, it happens, because I was about to say some of the news I'm seeing, I think is the next FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's going to bring down the market. And I really think that that's what's going on right now. Because, sorry, if I can go back to the share screen,
go
I
for
should
it.
look at it right now. You look at today, the S&P 500. It's actually pretty stable, right? In the 1 day range, be better. Hey, look at that. So it's pretty stable. And when you compare it to the Bitcoin, it's been crashing Bitcoin today, like solid. So I think what's happening right now is that people are scared. Okay, and we're gonna get to why. Um, and then, so I just wanted to touch on something. We're gonna every week we try to look at these things. It's something I look at because I'm more of a long term investor. I'm not a trader in itself, and I try to look at
You're not a
it's like
day trader, you mean? You're not a day
yeah,
trader.
yeah,
You
yeah,
are
yeah.
a
I'm not a
trader,
day
but you're not a
trader.
day trader. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You could do it, but it's not, you got family and you got a career,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's not really
yeah.
like it's something that you have time to do too.
No, no. It has to be like a passion. I have to make,
Because
really make
we could
sure.
all we have to do is remember that day when I spoke about Inovio,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's another thing.
and then you got in, and then you got in that morning.
Yeah, yeah, I
How
did.
much money did you make off of that one, riding that one?
Switching subjects. Um, so basically, but I'm more of an investor. That's what I'm trying to say. And so this is the Grayscale Bitcoin trust, right? So that basically in the US, if you want to, there's no ETFs, there's none of that stuff. So people with their, if they wanted to buy Bitcoin off of their normal exchange, if you wish, not going into Coinbase or stuff like that, they could buy, Grayscale. And if you can go back a little farther out, 5 years, whatnot. Look at this. Okay. So you're basically paying 40%, 38.5% premium. That was back in the day. Holy cow, look at that, eh? 2018. So that was the top. Near the top we're talking about
Yeah,
December. Look at that.
December. Yeah, there's the
December.
December.
Okay. December at the top, you were paying 101% premium. So people were they wanted to get Bitcoin so bad that they were ready to pay it twice the price, because they didn't know how the Coinbase works, or all these DeFi. It wasn't that big, and they just wanted to buy it now. They wanted to buy it fast, and they wanted to buy it easily, and that's what happened, right? So
Yeah.
it has to do with sentiment a lot. Look at it right now. Are people rushing in to buy it? BTC, Bitcoin Trust? No, they're it's going like negative 36%.
Yeah.
So as long as this stays really, really low and it's a downtrend, as I hope one day it's going to stabilize and then after that pick back up. But this is a pretty good indicator, I find,
Okay.
especially since there's no ETFs in the US. If there's an ETF in the US, that's another story,
Okay.
right? For the normal investor, I should say. No one. And the other thing, obviously, in the crypto world, we all know about is the fear and greed index. Basically, it looks at all the Twitter or the social media. It's a bunch of sentiment, how people are feeling.
Yeah.
It
I use a
gauges the
similar
sentiment.
I use a similar type graph for stock market
Right.
for companies.
So it's funny because the price last month was pretty much the same it is now, and it was extreme fear 22. It got back up 20 from the 25 21.5, and then look how high it went up. Now obviously it's going to go back down, but what I'm trying to say is there's more room to go back down, right? And that's usually, it's not the only thing you have to take in consideration if it's the bottom, and nobody can find the perfect bottom. I mean, who can?
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
No, nobody can. I mean, Warren
but
Buffett said that if he knew the bottoms of every single place, he'd be way more rich than he is now.
well, everyone would be rich, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, and here's the FUD, right? So crypto could be at risk of from EU's kill switch. So they basically, well, I can understand them. I'm not here to have an opinion. I mean, the EU is obviously going to have energy problems. With everything that's going on,
Yeah.
and crypto for them is a luxury, and they have to feed the people and keep them warm and whatnot. And I understand, right? So the European Union is planning to regulate um, cryptocurrency with that, right? So if you're interested, you can look it up in Yahoo Finance or it's like a week ago. But it takes time usually for people to digest
So
this
I
information.
mean
It's
the
October 28th.
okay, so the EU is in such problems basically. What we're saying is that I mean like 21st century like countries that are known as first world, all right, you're telling me that right now because of relying on Russian gas pipeline and all this kind of stuff that they won't be able to even use smart technologies anymore? Like are we really got to the point where there's so little energy that you can't even use blockchain technology?
Yeah, so you can't even compete in the next generation technology. Basically, what it is,
That's
because
exactly what
you
I'm
don't have enough energy to fuel yourself. But energy is key, right, to everything. Energy, it permits you to evolve as a society. It's
absolutely. I
everything.
mean, yeah, that's what you need energy in order to evolve as a civilization, as a society to get to the next levels. And right
Absolutely.
now, what I'm reading from that, what I'm interpreting from that is taking a massive step back.
Right. And the other thing for as crypto investors, the important thing to look at also is what happened last time. What made the FUD, if you wish, um, was the headline that made the crypto crash. Was all that banning, right? So I mean, China banning it in the
Yes.
past has always crashed the market. All
Yes.
these things of, well, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. It's gonna it hurts the price a lot. Okay. And here's the thing: if everyone follows suit with the Europeans here at home, if this happens, look at the repercussions. Okay, Canadian Energy. This is November 3rd. Canadian energy provider Hydro Quebec, hydro, clean energy.
Yeah.
Anyways, proposes stopping electricity. Proposes, right? So it's, but it still
Proposes.
scares people.
Yep.
Stopping electricity supply to blockchain industry. And that's the key thing, right? Blockchain industry. There's a lot of stuff going on in Quebec, just in Quebec. Why? Because they want green bitcoins. They want green coins, right, for investors. And where is one of the best places in the world to have clean energy? It's Quebec because it's hydro, it's water, right?
Yeah.
If they're pulling the plug or want to pull the plug, I mean, there's a lot of crypto mining companies here. They're actually on the TSX and they're actually on the stock market, right? What happens to their industry? What
Oh,
happens to all their inventory? What are they doing? Do they have to sell? Panic sell? What's going on here? That's huge. So it's huge for the industry, what's going on, and it's
yeah.
also huge for the price because it can be artificially dumping down the price, like it happened in China. You know, the hash rate. What happened to the hash rate? Well, all these miners, they had to flee. They had to sell their Bitcoin, or they had to, and then what happened? The price went down, and then they moved their stuff, and then after that, the price picked back up, right, when the hash rate went up again.
So just reading off of what you have put up here, right? The plan doesn't explicitly mention what type of blockchain industry they are targeting.
No,
But the Canadian province has been an ideal place for crypto miners to set up due to its abundant sources of clean, renewable energy. There had already been talks among the miners in Quebec that current rules are too restrictive to grow their operations in there. This new proposal could make it even more restrictive for the miners to operate in the province. Now, not even more restrictive. I mean, if you take it away, I mean, completely restrictive. It's like a barrier to entry. Like, you can't even do anything. I mean,
no.
if the government says no, I mean, then it's no. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to, you know what I mean? It's listen, that's a very, very, very serious point that you're bringing up, because if you have the EU doing this, you got China that's already completely against um, crypto that they're not in control of.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't ban Alipay, I don't think, or I mean, like, so it's like if they're not somehow, if they don't got a finger in it, then forget about it. It's like you're gone. And then you got to look at now the EU, which they're in they're in a energy crisis, and if they stop, that's a big problem. And then you have Quebec that's proposing. I mean, come on, with the clean energy that we have and everything that we're saying, due to energy demands, that we're gonna like get rid of that. I mean, it's weird because then you have like Russia saying, "Well, we'll just go to Bitcoin and do transactions with Bitcoin." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's there's just so much.
So you read
Um,
my mind, Al. I
okay,
wanted to talk about actually I didn't talk to you about this one, but in bankrupt Lebanon,
there you
okay,
go.
locals mine Bitcoin and buy groceries with Tether, which is basically this the number one stable coin, right? And so $1 US is 15 cents of
I
their
mean,
and I don't know if I see the picture here. Well,
now
basically, yeah, there you go.
just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
um, is Tether based off of Ethereum?
No, it's its own thing. It's
It's its
stable
own
coin.
thing.
It's yeah.
Stable
They're
coin.
basically they're pledging that they have collateral or they have money to back one to one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right.
No,
So
it's another complete different thing.
awesome. Awesome. Okay. Go ahead. What were we gonna say?
So yeah, so basically what they're saying, right, is, well, the headline says it all, right?
Yeah.
So people are buying, they're not using the money of the country anymore. They're transacting, a lot on the new currency market, the new blockchain and the crypto. So they're using Tether and they're getting some source of income by mining Bitcoin, and with that they're trying to survive because they're already in hyperinflation, and
So
that's the whole point.
isn't Argentina trying to do the same thing?
Well, so what's going on is that it's not. I think what's happening and what's going to happen. It's not the government that necessarily says you do this, do that, and people follow. It's people doing it out of necessity, and then eventually the government says, okay, well, fine, we might adopt it, right? Except for like El Salvador, I don't remember any country that went that route. El Salvador was basically said the leader said we need to go that route, and then people followed. But you look at Nigeria, you look at all these other countries, it's people that are doing it because they're hungry and they need to survive, right?
And sorry, that was Sandeep, because he wants to do a show later on decoding tech and the experiences that he had with us there. But I'll just put that off. Sandeep, I'll be calling you back soon, buddy. So um, when you really look at this, Al, right now we're in a it's like a balancing act, right? Like a seesaw. You know, it's like, oh my god, we can't use it. Oh my god, we need to use it. So it's like we can't use it because of, we need to use it because of. So Bitcoin and like cryptos in general seems like has become a need for certain countries, like
Yep,
a need, and absolute. We don't know what
absolutely.
else to do.
Yep,
You know, we don't know what else to do. Our dollars were 15 cents. Other countries are in hyperinflation. They don't do so. We'll just switch to this to help get us out of the situation. All right.
right.
Doesn't mean that everybody has it, because not everybody has a computer. Not
No,
everybody knows. Like, you can't tell old people to do this. They're gonna be like, I don't know, not I'm generalizing, but not, listen, the older you get, the harder it is to use new technology. All right. Not, you know, not everybody is gifted to be able to say, oh, okay, so maybe there's 1% out there that can do that or something like that, but it's not as easy as, you know, it seems, right? You got to, you know, I remember when VCR came out back in the day, and my parents didn't even know how to push power or record on it, you know, back in the day. So now we're talking about things that are on a computer. We're talking about like, you know, huge, long things to do transactions. It's not the same thing. It's not the same world, unless it's on your phone and it's automatic because it's already there, then not so bad. So it's become a need. But if you really think about it, it's become a need to who? Is it the super rich, or, you know what I mean? Is it the tech savvy people that have gotten out of this? Is it, if, you know, the whole general population able to use this at any time? And if not, and it's become a need to certain, you know, certain people, okay, in those countries and whatnot. Well, what happens to the rest of the population? We're looking at, you know, maybe mass poverty. We're looking at a lot of bad situations, unless we have some kind of adoption all around the world that says, look, things are not working anymore. Um, Either we continue with this reserve currency, all right, or the world, you know, and we try to get the rest of the world on, because, you know, starvation, all this kind of stuff, or we're going to cryptocurrency, and we're gonna allow, you know, yeah, I don't even want to say it, but we're gonna allow somehow, some way, for certain people to have a cell phone, and allow to have these credits to go on there through work and whatever, earning, you know, just like the regular world. But to certain people, I mean, there maybe like with the, remember, you know, remember when the euro came out, and you had to transfer your money, like the Italians had to transfer their lira into euro, so they had to give their money in order to get the euro, in order for the euro to dominate around there. Maybe something like that will happen, I don't know, but basically, if we're doing this, oh my god, we can't use you, but then, oh my god, we absolutely need you. I mean, not everybody's involved in this one. There's still a huge gap and a loss of people in there. We got to figure something out along the way, because it's starting to get messy.
yeah, it is messy, and I think that's why Bitcoin has its use case. When it gets messy, it gives the chance to the people that are in the mess to, stay afloat. And that's why we're not seeing mass adoption everywhere, because it's not. It is bad, but it's worse in some places than other, right? So the places that they're hit the most are the places where the U.S. dollar is super important. Places where Lebanon is one where their currency isn't worth much. Turkey, well, the rest of the world that is on the U.S. dollar, they're using U.S. dollar as the reserve currency. And once the U.S. dollar goes up, everything else costs way more. They can't pay for food anymore, so they have to find another way to survive. And those are the ones that are hit first by inflation and hyperinflation. And Yeah, it's like when Rome fell, right? The center was the last one to fall. All the peripherals around it were the ones that fell and were in hard times. That's
Okay.
what's going on right now,
So yeah,
right?
so basically we are looking at yeah, so basically it's what's going on. It's what's going on. It's geopolitics with that's at stake here right now. It's what we're looking at. I mean, I think that we could take Ukraine as an example of what's happening in the rest of the world, but it's playing out in the Ukraine because the Ukraine is basically a geopolitical conflict between two different ways of thinking. I mean, in the beginning, it wasn't that. In the beginning, it was something else. People could have said, well, it's because NATO was infringing. People, a lot of different reasons. But in the end, this whole East West thing that's going on a global scale. I mean, look, my Google does not stop sending me things on, oh, this new military thing and this new military thing and this new military action. And I'm like, I didn't even look up any of that stuff. It's just that's all I'm getting fed. But this whole Ukraine crisis, um, honestly, I saw a video, like a documentary about 2014 and what led up to 2014 and what led up to today. It's called Winter on Fire, the Ukraine story. Okay. And when you go look at that on YouTube, it's free. It's you just go, okay, this is a whole East West thing. This is like 1940, 1950, 1960, all the way up to the collapse of the USSR. And then after that, things just started to change, and now it seems like we're back into that Cold War mentality. But it seems like everything else is falling down around it, exactly like you're saying, and on a very minuscule uh, compared to the globe, it's playing out in Ukraine right now. It
Scary stuff.
scary stuff, man. But honestly, Al, like, thanks a lot for being on Between Plays, Stock Market Strategy, Crypto, Alex. It's amazing. And I saw that you next week. I think your delivery will be there for your shirt for next week or something like that. That's gonna be pretty
Yeah,
cool. I
yeah.
just wanted to tell everybody out there that the Between Plays shop is open. There's tons of stuff at betweenplays.myshopify.com, and you can buy like hoodies, caps with the emblem on the logo. You can get stuff that's got either just the logo like this, which is pretty cool, different sizes, whatever, or you have the stuff that actually says it with the names. So in order to support the cause, everybody just go out there, go check. There's cups, there's all kinds of things. It's pretty cool. And there's got things for men, for women. There's your iPhone case holders. There's all kinds of stuff. So go check it out. All right, Al. Thanks a lot. And everybody, always remember: research, prepare, plan, execute, stay strong. On the next show. See you, guy.
Ciao.
Bye. This episode is brought to you by TriStar, West Island, and 360 Punch, where there's something for everyone. 2144 Trans Canada Route, Dorval, Quebec, H9P 2N4. Go to their website for more information. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Between Plays Stock Market Strategies. Hit the like and the subscribe button. Head off into our description below if you'd like to know where all of our social media links are, and also the podcast, whether it be Apple or Spotify. We will be doing interviews with CEOs, with analysts, and it's not only on the stock market itself, but also on cryptocurrencies and blockchains. We will have guest speakers. We will be doing panels. You will be able to enjoy a lot of different content. Have a great day, and always remember: research, prepare, plan, execute. Stay strong.